So hello, welcome to our 6th video. This one is about the lay centres of Somerset and Dorset, and you can see the maps. I managed to find almost the identical matching map. You recognise that from the last 2 videos. Cornwall, Devon, Somerset and Dorset. So we're focusing on Somerset and Dorset. I've got the 4 lay centres that we're going to focus on today marked out. Stanton Drew, just south of Bristol. Knowlton Circles, and then there's 2 down here, which is Maiden Castle and the 9 Stones. By the way, we talked about the St Michael's ley line, and that's actually that's Glastonbury Tor. Knowlton Circles down there. I forgot to mark it in. But anyway, I was skeptical about it being perfectly aligned, and it's not. It doesn't line up perfectly, and that's about 2 miles difference. So we'll have to find out a bit more about St Michael's ley line, because it's a long one, and I think there's several ley lines making it up, to be fair. All right, well, Somerset, right, very famous for its sons and daughters, including John Cleese, Jason Button, Bill Bailey, and of course Anne Widdecombe, the late great Anne Widdecombe, who had her, if you like, a final goodbye yesterday on the 12th of August at the Great Abbey down in Buckfast that she used to frequent. Somerset's rather large. It's surprisingly large, actually. Not as big as Devon by any means, but it's even bigger than Wiltshire. Wiltshire's here. You can see the borders. And Somerset, it stretches as far west as Exmoor, of course, the majority of Exmoor is Somerset, all the way down here and up and around. And it's quite huge. It's even got a little bit of Bristol and all the Bath, although they call that Avon now. Somerset, some 1,610 square miles. So it's the second largest in the whole of the southwest. We're not going to go any further after this one. We're going to do something else. I was challenged by Wiltshire, but I decided not to go into the lay centres of Wiltshire because there's the 2 biggest ones, Avebury and Stonehenge. Of course, well, I'm not going to go there. Everybody else has. So let's talk about Somerset. First of all, I'm going to show you Stanton Drew. Stanton Drew, which is up here, just south of Bristol, is a series of 3 stone circles. It's a rather special place. I've been there twice, maybe. Yes, I've been there twice. And the first time in the late 70s, when you gave 50p, or was it a florin, or 2 shillings or something, in a plate outside of a window on the way into the entrance, where there's a cottage. I think it's changed now, but it's National Trust, has been for a long time. Stanton Drew has the 2nd largest stone circle in Great Britain, after Avebury, which is down here. So it's also got 2 small circles, one of which is quite complete, and the other which is more or less destroyed. It's also got a cove, which is a cromlech next to a pub, very handy. All in a very small area. It's got 2 outliners. One's here, Stone Quet, Halterville, and there's several ley lines, as you might expect. The best one I've found so far, anyway, is 6+4, roughly east to west, west to east. That's Stanton Drew. We're going to show you a picture of it and a slide coming up just now. Okay, so that's the first lay centre wanted to show you. Now we're moving on to Dorset. I know Dorset rather well, so we're down here. Dorset. This is the smallest of the 5 in the southwest counties. It's famous for Thomas Hardy. T.E. Lawrence, and I visited his cottage. That's Lawrence of Arabia. Sir Walter Raleigh and Enid Blyton. This is famous for its Jurassic coast, of course. Corfe Castle and Purbeck Isle, and its beaches are a lovely place. It's got several lay centres. I ought to mention, I'm going to show you this slide, the 25 lay centres of Somerset and Dorset. There's all the Somerset ones here, but you'll see that just the important lay centres of Dorset are included. There's 25. You wouldn't be able to see them if I put more on there. Next lay centre, Knowlton, the Knowlton Circles. Been there, done that a few times now. It's important, I think, because there's not a stone circle there. I don't think there ever was, because the henges, the circles, henges, and the big one you can't see. It's been ploughed out, but it's really quite huge. The smaller one with the church in the centre is the focus, which we're going to show you the pictures of. And there's several ley lines: 7-2, 7-3, 6-5. So really quite validated ley lines, and easy to spot. You could easily find them. So Knowlton Circles, henges, 3 henges. It's a 4+1 in East Dorset. Highly recommended. We're going to show you Maiden Castle next. There's a picture of Maiden Castle. We'll put it on the slide so you can see it better than this picture. This is centered. You can see the circle, centered on a temple on Maiden Castle. Maiden Castle is one of the biggest earthworks in Europe. It's the only 4 vallum castle earthworks in this country. It's probably the second biggest of all in terms of acreage in the whole of the UK. And it's fabulous, and I've been around it several times. It's a hell of a walk if you go around all the way round. There we go, Maiden Castle. Dorchester's up here. You can see down in the next to is the conurbation of Dorchester, which is the county town of Dorset. Maiden Castle. Of course, there's no ley lines. There's several, as I think I've showed you already. There's an 8+2, which I've walked from Obermoyne Church over here somewhere, along the line to the Roman Temple, on the castle, and on to 9 Stones, which we're also going to focus on in a minute. So, great area. If you spent a day there, you could do Maiden Castle, 9 Stones, and 2 other lay centres, which are very close together, really. The Stone Circles, and the 5th place worth a visit is in Catherine's Chapel, Abbotsbury. It's a lone survivor, one of the few that survived the Reformation in King Henry VIII's days. They flattened all the other Catholic chapels and cathedrals and abbeys and monasteries, as you know. Great shame in a way, but he was the first Brexiteer who got rid of the Europeans. A bit like Nigel Farage has helped us to do. that's debatable, isn't it? What made that survive, funny enough, I found out, is it's because it was a guide to the shipping in the channel. They could see it because it's high up on a hill, and if you put a light in there, it saved a few lives, I expect. So it survived. Great survivor. So you can do all 5 in a day easily, and that's I'm going to leave that up there because the next uh, slide is, and we got 3 on Maiden Castle, is on the 9 stones. And the 9 stones are one of my favourite small stone circles. Probably the second or third stone circle I ever visited when I was 16 or 17, was it? And there's a picture of the 9 stones. It's just off the A35. In fact, if you where the cameraman is there, that's me, I expect. If I reversed about 10 foot, I'd be on the road. We're going to show you 2 other pictures. Me a while back, 2016, 10 years ago, with my old dad, who's no longer with us. That's the biggest stone. You can see the road. And the third one is going to be this layout. 2 of the stones are buried. You can't see them, but that's the 9 stones. Winterbourne Abbas near Dorset. There's several ley lines going through it. As you can see, there's the one I mentioned, which I walked 8+2 in the rain, heavy rain. Oh dear, was it wet? Could do some of that rain now. There's a 4+2, a 4+3, a 6+2, and a 7+2, which including part of the A35, which was on the Roman road, which is quite interesting. To Dorchester, and there's several places there. So that's all I've got for you today in the way of lay centres, and we're going to move around a bit. Hold on, I'll be back.
John, I just thought of a question. Talking about lay centres and stone circles. I've always been a bit interested in wood henges, assuming they're serving the same purpose as a stone henge to mark a lay centre. Obviously, they don't exist anymore; they've rotted away. Now, were they pre-stone, or were they just an easier way of marking the same thing?
No, they were before stone circles, but they served a slightly different purpose. We know with Woodhenge, which is slightly northeast of Stonehenge, that was for the living centre, and they congregated there, and they probably ate there and celebrated there. But the stones were, of course, still exist, were for the dead. They were celebrating life after death.
Right.
And that was basically the change. But there's something else which I'm glad you brought it up in a way, because if you know the geography of this country, the whole of the British Isles on the west side, north and west side, is mountainous and hillier, a lot of granite, etc. Whereas if you draw a line between the Tees X line, they call it, between the River X in Devon down here somewhere. There we are. The River X comes from Exmoor, of course. So we drew a line from here up to the River Tees in Tyne and Wear. Everything to the west and north of that line is more mountainous, and that's where you find your stone circles. Is approximately 950. Everything to the east and the southeast, such as the whole of the southeast of England, East Anglia, a lot of the northeast. There was no it was chalk down the south, and there was other limestone, but no granite as such. So they didn't have megaliths lying around, left by the great icebergs, in the Ice Age. When they retreated, they just left these lumps of rock everywhere, which were used by our predecessors for stone circles, etc. But they didn't have that in the east, so I built wood henges, and there's nothing left of them, as you quite rightly say, Jason. Long gone. So there's nothing in East Anglia. that you can find. There's henges. You know the earthworks. You can see from the crop circles particularly. Thank you for that question. We're moving on.
Time.
So I'm back with you just to say goodbye, really. Thank you for viewing this. We've done 3 videos. The first 3 were on ley lines. The first 2 on Dartmoor, then there was Bodmin Moor. And the last 3 were on ley centres, which were spin-off from ley lines. So I thought it was time to move on because there's other spin-offs. For example, Menhers, Stone Circles, and more interestingly, because a lot of people know about those, although we're going to visit some strange ones that you won't know. Third and the last video, number 9, I suspect before Christmas, will be about markstones at marketplaces, where the marketplace got its name, Markstones. It's marking the place, and it's where 2 ley lines crossed, and it's the stones are nearly always missing, but I know of a few that are still there, and if I can find enough to challenge, I know we're going to present them. Also, of course, some of them, a lot of them, most of them, in fact, didn't even make it to be marketplaces. So they're still there, out in the wild, or the crossroads. There's a stone on the side in the hedgerow to be found. Maybe some are there to be seen. A lot aren't. So thank you for viewing. Ring the bell, give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Bye.